Well, we're back here at Hydra Restaurant in the Cabana Lounge. And Jim, you did a really good segment with our ambassador for kindness back in the summer.
That's right, David McCann, who you've seen on our show a bunch of times. We've been doing random acts of kindness segments with him for the last couple of years. This was a really nice one, and we're getting to it now. It was shot in late summer, and it was a dedication to a gentleman who was one of the many that were instrumental in making Granville Island what it is today. We're going to look back at that and Dave, and it took place on Granville Island late this past summer. Well, if you're a regular viewer of Our City Tonight, you know we spent a lot of time on Granville Island. We also spent a lot of time with our good friend Dave McCann, who is part of Creek House Industries and our partners for the Random Acts of Kindness segments. We're here on a lovely Friday afternoon, and I'm joined by Jack Kynes, who is going to talk to us about what we're standing in front of and a tribute to one man, actually two men, we should say.
Well, that's right.
Yeah. Jack, tell us about John Keith King. He's been in and around our shows over the last few years because of his legacy.
Well, he's left quite a legacy.
Yeah.
John Keith King was an architect and a developer who basically took Host and Bean and turned it into viable retail outlets. And so he developed the Maritime Market and Marina here. And that was I worked for him in the early 90s through to about 98.
It's amazing, too, that since we've gotten to know Granville Island better and working with everybody, such as the folks here at Maritime Market, the thread line running through all these shows is just the vision that a lot of these guys had, because this was not what it was. This island is today, including this area.
Yeah, things like this don't happen without visionaries.
Yeah.
And John Keith King certainly was one.
Let's talk about what's in front of us here. This is just a stunning piece of work, and let's talk about the artist.
The artist is Clarence Mills. He's a Haida carver of note, and he's more known for his totem poles. But he approached me when we put this kind of thought together, and he decided that this would be a nice functional piece of art.
This will be up, and too, we should mention Bill Johnston, who bought from John. Am I getting the story right?
Yeah, well, I was working for John when Bill Johnston bought it, and eventually he's passed as well. And so his wife and his daughter run the show, so it stayed a family business.
Yeah. So this will be located here in this part of Granville Island?
Exactly.
Wonderful. Jack, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, no random act of kindness segment would be complete without our old friend from Creek House, Dave McCann. He's not old, we just known him a long time. And we got you last here. We've talked to Jack and Gary, and as I said to them, one of the great things that I've really discovered over the last 4 years we've been filming here off and on at Granville Island is the history and the legacy, and what you're here today to MC and commemorate and pay tribute to is part of just people honoring the history of the men and the women that were here early, that saw things and built Granville Island to what it is today. You knew this man well as well.
John was a treasured friend, and I knew him for almost 30 years. He came down here when Gary Anderson and Mitch Taylor and a number of other people were down here and took an incredible risk. He did everything from the entrance to Granville Island at Vancouver Fish Company to Bridges Restaurant. He did the marina behind us. An incredible financial risk, but also an incredible vision. I can help turn this into what is, I think, the #1 people place in Canada. It's a vibrant place. Everything from children to old folks are welcome here.
Yeah, and I know that things have to evolve and things move on and things change. As I said, evolve being a big word, but also what's happening today is something I like because it's also honoring history and it's honoring the people that were here before, and we're not just forgetting them because they're no longer here and it's now and it's not then. I love that the Granville Island really does try to make a point of doing this kind of thing, and you're emceeing today, so.
Yeah, I just find it nice that CMHC and the island tenants and the visitors of the island do recognize the contributions that people like John made.
Now joined by Gary Anderson. He's the managing director of Creek House, who is always behind the scenes when we do what we do. And Gary, one of the threads, as I said to Jack, that runs through all our shows that we've done with you and on the island as a whole are visionaries who came here over 50 years ago, you being one of them, about to celebrate 51 years, I think you told me, and that you saw something here that was great, that could really benefit the public, the tourists, and here we are, #2 tourist destination in all of Canada, Granville Island. Talk about the early days, especially when we're talking about John Keith King and your relationship with him?
Well, Keith King missed the red hot boom chains in front of Creek House, but he did.
You didn't know, did you?
Yeah. But he did a great job putting this together. It was a huge operation that John put together. He was a great visionary and really understood as an architect how to go and deal with this type of thing. He did a brilliant job. And he's a much grander adventure than mine, the Creek House, but there it is. He actually wanted me to come in on him, but I was so annoyed with the island, I didn't do it.
Well, it's a whole bunch of people in one frame, and we have only 2 microphones here today, so we're going to do something we don't normally do, and that's pass the microphone down as opposed to passing the hat down when we put money in, that kind of thing. David, you kick things off because there's some wonderful people here that are involved in what's going on today.
Well, on behalf of the Vancouver community, and particularly the Granville Island community, and I think the millions of visitors that come every year, I just want to thank CMHC and Jackie Johnston and Rhonda, her mom, for doing this to honor some of Granville Island's pioneers. I think it's amazing.
Thanks, and I'm glad it's not a hat because I didn't bring any money. But so on behalf of CMHC Granville Island, this is wonderful. This is a community event. It doesn't happen without the contributions of some of our longtime tenants. It's amazing that now we're almost 50 years in, and we've still got some of the original folks who were here even before CMHC. So this is a wonderful piece of history, and we're just so excited to see this. Thank you very much for doing all this work.
Rhonda, Jackie, one of the things that we've been talking about is this legacy and this continuation. You tribute to Bill and to John.
Of course.
It's good to see because a lot of places don't do that. You know, that's yesterday. We don't care about that anymore, but it's good to see that they do on this island.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's a family business, and it's been absolutely amazing to be part of such a wonderful community down here, and to have everyone involved today has just been great.
It is a pleasure to see everybody, and just what a nice celebration, and everybody is participating, everybody from Granville Island. It is a real community, so it's nice to see everybody, so it's great.
This Act of Kindness segment was sponsored by the folks at the Creek House in the heart of Granville Island. They encourage you to open up your heart and reach out and help someone in need.